Hello, another day, another presentation. This opening chart is in blue, the Eurozone industrial new orders from Eurostat, who have now got a half-decent website together. And in red, it's from Fred, the St. Louis Fed, and it's US manufacturing new orders. So, European new orders, American new orders. Look how they follow each other. Basically, that's all the way back to 1970, 1996, and they follow each other. Right. This is to say what happens in Europe happens in America. There's a bit of a diversion at the end where they're not quite together, but it could be just the gathering of information. Or this is now the big crossroads where Europe goes one way and America goes the other. But I think it's quite likely that these will stay together. And that is vaguely important for having in the back of your mind. So you don't ignore Europe and say, stuff those silly European bastards. Or the European bastards say, stuff those American bastards. In the United States of America, pending home sales jump in October. Now, yesterday I was saying I think house prices have got a way to go down yet, and I still say that. Pending home sales rose strongly in October and remain above year-ago levels, according to the National Association of Realtors. And the numbers did have a really big boing up, and that's in October, which isn't a big selling month, so we can't say it's seasonal or anything like that. And at the end of this, we hope this indicates more buyers are taking advantage of the excellent affordability conditions, and that's by a realtor who's obviously not sure of his ground, because it starts with "we hope," and when realtors have to resort to things like "we hope," then that they're battered around a bit, but we'll see. This is an article from an American newspaper, and I've started towards the top of it. According to a police officer, starting again. According to a police report filed after the incident, the officer, Lieutenant Frank Gordo, pictured upper right, we'll get his picture in the next one, says he placed his hand on Michael's, and then the boy pushed my hand away in a batting motion, pushed papers off the table and kicked me in the right knee. When Michael wouldn't calm down, Gordo cuffed Michael's hands and feet with zip ties and took the boy to Stockton Kaiser Psychiatric Hospital in the back of a squad car. He had not called Michael's mother or father to that point. At that point, Michael was cited for battery on a police officer. Now, two things here. There's that article, and the thing been nagging in my head since the Davis incident, and this shows my ignorance of things, police and that sort of thing. I haven't got right in my mind. I don't understand the idea. I know that if I go you go in America, because I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens anywhere. If I go and pepper spray a policeman, I get locked away for a long time. I imagine it's not the sort of thing you should go around doing. But if a policeman pepper sprays me, then this seems all right. It just seems in these rightified things that I see on the television, the police are generally beating the crap out of the people. And if a person just even does that to protect himself and happens to touch a policeman's arm, he gets done for battery or whatever it's called. I don't understand where the law is, how I don't understand it. Basically, I don't understand whether it's the written law or how it's perceived or how it's acted on. I just don't understand how the law acts, that the police can do within reasons, certainly in these rightified occasions, just about anything they feel like. I've seen them bashing people with these batons in Europe, in America, Asia, everywhere. But you can't do anything to a policeman. I don't know where the law stands on that. Why can the police batter the hell out of you, but you can't lay a small finger on a policeman? I don't understand where the law is on that. Does the law actually state, yes, police can kick the crap out of you? I don't see it. I don't understand it at all. Anyway, this Michael, you see the picture on 3B, and Michael is aged 5. Yeah, and obviously he's a difficult child, aged 5, but and I feel sorry for the police officer. I feel sorry for the school and the parents and everyone with a hyperactive child, but zip tying him arms and legs and taking him to a psychiatric hospital perhaps, or why the police called in the first place. It's all very difficult life, isn't it? I don't understand it at all. Moving on, let's get on. Meet the 5 big lenders profiting from the 1 trillion student debt bubble. Hint, you know some of them already. You know all of them. Sally Mae is the one that you probably wouldn't have guessed at, but obviously you should have in America. I was going to say more on this, but I've gone on about police things. I think it's what has happened with these student loans. The governments around the world could afford to pay for the students. They don't need to loan them. I think the idea always has been, or a good chunk of the idea has been, to get these young people involved in society by weighing them down with debt so that they have to work hard to pay the debt off. And I think it's going to rebound very badly on the governments that had that percentage of idea when initiating this scheme of loading the young people up with debt for their student loans. It will rebound upon them. Out there in the world, the United Arab Emirates Fund plans to help pay debts of the poor, wages to double in the judiciary, health and education. Countries that can afford to help the, what did I call them in yesterday, the marginal places where the people are going to be moving into trouble and could therefore then cause trouble. If governments can afford it, they'll try and buy them off. But of course the OECD worlds don't think that they can afford to buy off the people, so they've got to do other things. And this is the Telegraph, UK. Scotland Yard plans to buy water cannons, and they've been told that they weren't hard enough basically in London on the first lot of riots. So I imagine next time riots start in London they are going to come down super hard, wielding batons, water cannons, and they're buying, teaching their members to police people to fire rubber bullets and whatever. And I don't understand it. It's yeah, if somebody's burning a car, then you do something. But most of the time, these are peaceful demonstrations that just mean to a lot of people in what is an inconvenient space and time for the police. So they beat the crap out of them. Quid pro quo. I don't know. As I say, I don't know. Mail Online UK, there was a big strike yesterday by the public service workers, and the Mail Online obviously wanted to have a big poll to show that the people in the country that was working were against this strike, so they had a poll. Yeah, people have polls. And basically people said, yes, we do support the strike, 84%, even Daily Mail readers, and only 16 no, so they pulled the poll. They normally have the poll open till the end of the day, but the answer was wrong, so the Daily Mail pulled the poll. Great. In Belgium, Eurozone crisis citizens to the rescue. Eurozone governments are the markets refusing to lend, turn to the people instead. That is in essence what Belgium is proposing to do with an appeal to retail investors, that's you and me, retail investors, to buy the sovereign bonds it's struggling to sell to institutional investors, Goldman Sachs, and people that are patriotic, that fly Belgian flags in their window, etc., might buy these bonds and might not live to regret it, even when the bonds, they might be proud that even when the price of the bonds goes down and down and down, they might still think they've done the patriotic thing. But obviously things are wrong if you have to start touting your bonds to your people. Right. In the Eurozone as a whole, this is from the ECB website, unemployment rate has had that nasty little tick up They thought they had it. They were over that last peak and they were getting it. They knew it was horrible, but they thought, okay, it's coming down again. But for the last 4 months now, it's been ticking back up again, and it's 10.25 across the European community. And if you go into the Eurostat data, you can drag this out, the various unemployment rates at the bottom, but more important, the one I've highlighted in yellow in October 2011, that's the last main figures out. The youth unemployment rate was 22% in the Eurozone as a whole, in the Euro area as a whole, the European Union, 27 countries, 22%, and it was 21.4% in the Euro area, the users, 17 users of the euro currency. So still well over 20% youth unemployment. But this is really another hint of why the euro is, let's say, so difficult, bloody impossible to sort out. Youth unemployment in Netherlands 8%, Germany 8%, Austria 9%, Spain 49%, Greece 45%. You can't sort something like that out, can you really? Not without being very, very, very clever, and I haven't seen any very, very, very cleverness coming out of the Eurozone forever. Bye.